What is going on, guys? It is Jason from Jason's Sports Clips here with Nick for episode number 2 of our podcast. If you have not seen our last one, we posted it a couple weeks ago. It's basically recapping the draft. But today, the schedule just came out yesterday. We're recording this Thursday at 3:30 on the dot. And how do you feel about your schedule for the Buccaneers?
It's weird. It's very weird. It looks like it's more like an easy schedule a little bit, but then there's a couple of nail biters.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I was so hyped up for the schedule release because there is literally nothing going on in NFL because it's been so boring. But today's video, you already seen the title and thumbnail and all that. We're going to be talking about just the NFL schedule release. We're going to talk about the big games. We're going to talk about the Packers schedule and the Buccaneers schedule. So we have to post something because it is the boring part of the offseason. So you ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
And if you did see our last one, we were sitting down on the couch. We wanted to go to the computer today because, of course, you can see on your screen we'll be looking at the schedule. So it would be a lot of computer work, like, looking at the schedules week 1 through 16 or 17 or 18. So I'd rather do it on the computer rather than over there so you guys see it. So we're going to start off with week 1. Of course, it got announced a few days ago, Cowboys and Eagles will be opening up the season, which I personally really like it. I know there's a lot of people that don't like it. I don't know why. We all knew the Eagles would be hosting the first game because they won the Super Bowl.
Right.
But the Cowboys, they're division rivals. They literally hate each other. So I at least like it a lot. How do you feel?
It's more like I like it, but then don't like it.
So you're like right there in between.
It's neutral.
It's like a good rivalry matchup.
It's a
but
good
it's like,
and a bad.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it, so I can understand both sides for sure.
Eagles, they haven't done anything other than drafting some people that they didn't even need. The Cowboys, on the other hand, I don't think they've done anything either.
George Pickens?
Other than George Pickens, of course. But other than that, they drafted that guard,
Tyler Guyton. Well, not Guyton. Is it Guyton?
No, it's
Tyler something because I know his name's Tyler.
I know is Tyler.
Well, no, it's all good. The Cowboys are expected to be at least a little bit better this year, but we'll go over how the teams did in the offseason maybe a couple of episodes later, like
right. But I'm just saying that just because of that, I think they could have done like
the Lions, maybe.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been great.
That would have been a very interesting game.
But then we're going to move on to the next game. The first free game, by the way, I don't know if you noticed this, is airing on YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything for the Chiefs and Chargers on Friday night. I think that's amazing. So, did you know that? Mm-hmm.
I did not know that. Wow.
Yep. Free on YouTube. It's not YouTube Premium or whatever. Literally free on YouTube. You can just watch it like a normal video.
I did not know that.
I think that's pretty cool.
That's dope. That's dope as hell.
And hopefully the NFL is leaning towards more of a free platform. They already got Netflix, they got Amazon, they got Peacock. They got way too many damn freaking streaming services. So it's nice to see at least a free break for a minute.
Even maybe lower down the cost on per month for YouTube subscribe, just to have YouTube have a little bit more money here and there. But maybe lower the cost, and maybe you'll get more
of
consumers.
Course.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree for sure. And by the way, if you think we're going to go every game one by one, we are not. This is the first week of the season. I kind of want to see the little recap, and then we're going to go through the primetime games and, of course, the Packers and the Buccaneers schedule.
Right.
Speaking of the Bucs, they're playing Buccaneers. They're playing Buccaneers. They're playing the Falcons 1 o'clock, in which I always feel like you want to open up the season on the road just to get that road game over with. That's just my personal opinion.
But I don't know about the Falcons.
At least you're getting the divisional rivalry out of the way.
I guess get that out of the way. Yeah, that's maybe a one good thing out of the way. But against I don't know. Maybe we could have done it against the Saints. Or, not the Panthers, because the Panthers suck, but who knows?
And the one thing I do want to say real quick, we're looking at these schedules like, oh, that's an easy W, or oh, that's a really tough game.
You cannot say that anymore.
We really can't, because we looked at the Commanders last year. I thought they're gonna be butt cheeks. They ended up going to the NFC Championship, like. So we can't just sit here and say, oh, that's easy W. You know, we're playing against those Saints. You never know. Are the Saints good on paper? But
they're not looking good on paper. They're not looking good on a roster. They're not good on anything other than maybe the head coaching. But that's about it.
That's about it. But
you never know. Correct. Yeah. I agree 100%. I mean, Commanders, I would have thought they would want maybe, what? 7-10 or some shit or something like that, but no, they went way and beyond, especially that freaking rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels. He was a freaking stud.
I mean, going to the championship game in your rookie year is pretty damn good in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's a good accomplishment.
But long story short, you can't just sit here and say, oh, the Jets are going to suck. Who knows? They might make it to the Super Bowl. You never know. That's all I got to say. I don't care about last year's strength of schedule. I do want to say that too real quick. I've been hearing a lot like, oh, well, they got the 23rd easiest schedule or they got the 31st hardest schedule. I don't want to hear none of that because the offseason, they had a lot of changes. We all know that. Teams are different every year, different coaching. So I just want to say that real quick.
Do you think it's been updated already? Ever, like after the draft?
The team's strength of schedules? No, they just go off of last year's schedule or last year's winning percentage.
Oh,
and that's why it's like,
that's right.
I don't want to hear none of that. But Nick is feeling wishy-washy about the opening of the Falcons. The Packers are playing a 4:30 game against the Lions.
I like that. That should be a really very interesting.
It's going to be a very interesting game for sure, especially with the new coordinators for the Lions. Remember that. They might not be hot to start off the game, or start off the season. So we might be seeing the Lions at a perfect time here. They might be very vulnerable, but again, it's still the Lions.
Well, I mean, I hate to tell you this, but Lions normally win at your guys' house.
So
but
funny.
then, for some odd reason, they do, like, you guys do the same exact thing at their house.
That's true.
It's weird.
It is really weird. But I like the matchup. Then we got the Ravens and Bills for the first Sunday night football game.
That's a really good game.
Beautiful. And then we got the Vikings and Bears for Monday Night Football. Did you just hear about Caleb Williams?
I did hear something like that. Somehow, based on last year's draft, he didn't want to be on the Bears.
Bad. Like, he was doing anything he could to kind of avoid the Bears, which we just literally found this out.
I didn't know about this till today. Yeah,
I think it was like an hour ago or something.
I think it was. Yeah, I was like, no way. Oh my god.
But that was crazy. We're gonna be see J.J. McCarthy's season, or actually technically NFL debut because he got hurt in the preseason last year. So that's gonna be a really interesting game right there.
Yeah, that's good.
And then the Bears, of course, are supposed to be the winners of the offseason every year, but we know how that goes.
Normally.
We're going to just casually go over. Ashley, do you want to do team schedules? Actually, let's look at the Thursday night football since we're going to be doing those. And then we can go through Sunday night football and then Monday night football.
Fair enough.
I do want to say a couple of things about Monday night football in a minute.
Okay.
The Dolphins and Bills, week 3. I skipped the Commanders and Packers. I don't know how I just skipped that, but I love that matchup. The Packers are starting off the year 2 straight really hard teams in not primetime games because the Bears not considered primetime, but it's game of the week or whatever. I don't know, man. The Packers got a tough start to the year. What do you think about that?
Against the Lions and Commanders?
Yeah.
That's a really tough schedule because normally Detroit Lions offense is really good, and Packers defense. Well, they improved the Packers defense last year
a lot,
and they improved probably a lot this year. So, it might come down to a wire. Like, I hate to say this, but the wild card game against Commanders against the BUCS in the wild card game last year, it went down the wire, and I was at that game with my friend of mine, and oh my god. It went down a wire, and I felt so heartbroken after that. But it's whatever.
It's whatever. Brand new season, man.
Drinks on that.
But again, we'll talk about each team's schedules in a minute. Well, I wanted to go through the primetime slates.
Right.
Dolphins and Bills. I feel like they're always on Thursday night football in the beginning of the season. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Usually it's in Miami though. I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but I'm hovering over everything.
I mean, it's either way, but they're always either Thursday night or maybe Monday nights.
Yeah, but I feel like it's mainly Thursday night. Yeah. But I like it. I like divisional matchups on primetime because they're always good. Then you got the Seahawks and Cardinals. We're going to see, how Sam Darnold's going to be against the Cardinals. Cardinals had an improved defense. It should be a pretty good game. Any personal thoughts on that?
We're just got to see how he handles as a new offense and a new team in the first few weeks of the season, especially through the preseason.
For sure.
So we'll just have to see.
And then, I don't know if you remember last year's, I think it was a Monday night game between the 49ers and Rams in Santa Clara. It was like 6-3 or something like that.
I think it was.
Because it was that rainstorm.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I think it was on Thursday Night Football or something like that. But anyways, I remember that.
I think it was a Thursday night.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember that game. It was so boring. But then again, that was last year. These teams are different completely. 49ers, I don't know how I'm going to make them out. I said it in my video a few days ago. I don't know how they're going to be this year.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't think that's going to be a good game.
I don't think so either. But, hey, we never know. 49ers could be 4-0 at this point.
I'm just going to say right now that I don't think it's going to be a good game. I don't think.
Like 10-3?
Yeah, maybe that or, 10-13.
Nah.
With a game-winning field goal.
It's a good defensive game.
That's what I'm thinking. But who knows?
That's crazy. But then we got the Eagles and Giants for the Week 6 primetime game or Thursday night game. I mean, you got to give the bad teams, some kind of. I was about to say glory, but is that their?
No.
Yeah, some kind of bright light, I guess you can say. We never know. Hey, it could be Week 6, and the Giants could be like 4-2 or 4-1. You never know. I'm telling you, we've seen some crazier things.
Yeah, like remember a few years ago that the Cardinals went up 8 or 9-0 until they faced you guys.
I do remember that.
And then that freaking pick in the end zone.
That was Rasul Douglas.
Yes,
I just seen that video not too long ago too. That's actually crazy you say that. That's
so I mean, they might go in a funk after that.
You never know. Eagles would be you never know, dude. You never know. And then we get
to me it's gonna be go.
Then we get the Week 7 Steelers and Bengals. Of course, another divisional matchups. We literally got all divisional matchups, which again I like them because they're always close, at least in my opinion. We still don't know what's going on with exactly Aaron Rodgers, but so assuming he's gonna sign.
I heard about something else.
On the Steelers or Aaron Rodgers?
On the Steelers. I heard a rumor that they might trade for Kirk Cousins.
I mean,
how do you feel about that?
When did you hear this?
It's like a few days ago.
Oh, I didn't hear nothing about it.
It's a rumor.
But how did I feel? I feel like that'd be weird. Now, what are they trading? What are they trading away? Since his contract's so big, but then again, the Falcons are paying most of that money. Now, of course, the Steelers are gonna be paying money for sure, but I don't know, man. Nah, I don't think that's gonna work. I don't know. I think the Falcons are just stuck with him, and no one's gonna want to trade him unless he gets released, and then someone else will pick him up. But I don't think someone's gonna trade for him, even though with all these rumors, even though he's a backup. I don't know. I could be wrong. That was actually a very interesting take right there. I didn't even know anything about that rumor.
It's weird because I was hearing about it a couple days ago, from today. Mm-hmm. That somebody saying they might trade up for Kirk Cousins maybe after the draft or something like that. But
you never know. I mean, if Aaron Rodgers decides to hang it up, hey, I wouldn't be shocked then. Which we're recording this literally May 15th, and he's we'll talk about him later. This is getting ridiculous.
Which I think it would make sense because Arthur Smith, offensive coordinator, who was a head coach of the Falcons. So you never know.
You never know. That's true. It should be good games. Steelers and Bengals, like I said. Bengals, that the best offense in the league, but worst defense in the league. Then you got the Vikings and Chargers for the Week 8. Good little matchup right there for sure.
Yeah.
And then we got the Week 9 Ravens and Dolphins, which, hey, I like it. I think these, good little games right here. And then let me know if you have to say anything about certain of these games.
Yeah, I'm just looking.
Then we got the Week 10. We got the Raiders and Broncos, which the Raiders will be improved for sure. Another team that was really bad last year, but could make the playoffs this year. You never know. You never know.
It might be like another version of themselves when Derek Carr and Devontae Adams got together.
Yeah, well, that never went good.
That might be this case.
You never know. That's true. That's why I love the NFL so much. Like, we all sit here and predict that.
You always expect something, and then it turns out a different way.
Exactly. If we all were a betting man, and, like, if we were all perfect, then we obviously be rich, which, I don't even know. Like, it's just, we all ain't that smart when it comes to, like, really predicting stuff.
All I gotta say is, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Exactly. And then Broncos would be good, by the way, for sure this year.
They should be.
Jets and Patriots. Right now, it looks like a snoozer. But then again, you never know. Patriots improved a lot during the offseason, which I mentioned them in my video.
They might put up the biggest offensive scores in maybe NFL history. Who knows? But other than that, it might be a wash.
You never know. And the Jets, of course, with Justin Fields now, and Aaron Glenn. You never know. They could be sitting here at 7-4 or like 7-3 or something like that. You never know. Same with the Patriots.
Right.
Bills and Texans for the Week 12 game should be pretty damn good in my opinion.
I like that game. I like that game a lot.
That should be a shootout for sure. And then this is the Bears and Eagles is the Black Friday game, the day after Thanksgiving at 3 o'clock. So that's considered the Thursday night football because, it's on Amazon. But I like the matchup. Like I said, the Bears are supposed to be supposedly a lot better this year than last year. But then that's the same thing it was a couple years ago. And that's the same thing it was 3 years ago. Yeah, so it's like they got to freaking prove me wrong.
Right.
We're going to be seeing the Eagles a lot because, of course, they won the Super Bowl. Cowboys and Lions. Ooh, Thursday night football game. Good. Like I said, the Cowboys, I think they're going to be good. Are they going to be great? But still a pretty damn good matchup and definitely going to get a lot of ratings right there for sure. And then we got the Week 15, the most boring game ever. Every single freaking year is the Falcons and BUCS. I am definitely joking. I'm just getting Nick riled up.
No, you're not wrong.
No, what about last Thursday night football last year? Wasn't it like freaking 50-40 or something? Kirk Cousins, his last best game with the Falcons was against the Buccaneers. So
of course it was. And then he went to shits after that.
Yeah, but that's actually kind of cool. Week 15, December, so it should be cooler in Tampa. Maybe a game we can go to this year since you're off. We might have to look into that.
Yeah, we might have to look into that.
Should be a pretty good game. Like I said, divisional games are always good. And then speaking of never divisional, Week 16, we got the Rams and Seahawks. Should be pretty good. Two teams. I think they're going to be better this year for sure. No matter what the Seahawks did, I still think they got a little bit better.
That should be a good game. I think that's going to be a good game.
And then the last Thursday night football on Christmas night is the Broncos and Chiefs. We're going to also be seeing the Chiefs on here a lot too. I really do like that matchup because I think the Broncos are going to be good. This AFC West is going to be very, very, very interesting this year.
I think so too.
Because, of course, you got the Raiders, Chargers, Broncos and Chiefs. But Chiefs are probably going to end up winning the division. But watch out for the Broncos. They could be right neck to neck with the Chiefs. At least in my opinion.
Broncos,
right neck. Oh, yeah. The way they had offseason.
Yeah, I like what they did.
In my video that I posted a few days ago about the offseason winners and losers, I almost put them as a winner. But I was like, I got to put the Patriots just because of the head coach and stuff.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion. AFC West, definitely look out. And then now we're going to Sunday Night Football. We've already talked about the Cowboys and Eagles. We've already talked about the Ravens and Bills. Then we got the Falcons and Vikings. Interesting game on Sunday Night Football. We're going to see how Michael Penix is.
Penix.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say certain words on here, but then we got the Chiefs and Giants again. We got Giants 2 primetime games, which is a little interesting. So assuming maybe Jackson Dart starts, but I don't know.
Either one.
Should be a blowout, but hey, never know. Giants could be 2-0 at this point.
Or who knows? Maybe they'll give them a freaking shock and just freaking get a game-winning touchdown to end the game, and then Chiefs might go in a flunk after that.
You never know. You never know. I'm telling you, NFL is crazy, bro. NFL is crazy.
It might happen. I don't know why, but I'm having a feeling that might happen.
Well, if it does happen, we're going to go back on this video. We're going to look at it. And I'm going to screen record it and everything. So.
Yep.
Then we got week 4. The Packers and Cowboys should be a phenomenal game right here, which is Lambeau South, because the Packers always win in Jerry World. Yep. I don't know if you heard of that. Yep. Lambeau South. Pretty good game. And then Patriots and Bills should be a blowout. But then again, we keep saying the same thing over and over. You never know.
Never know, yeah.
Lions and Chiefs going to be a very good game here, Sunday Night Football.
Very good game.
The day after my birthday. That's pretty damn cool. Then you got the Falcons and 49ers, which I don't think I don't think the 49ers should be this many primetime games. I get it because the 49ers have been good the last few years. I don't see them being good this year.
I see them as mediocre.
Again, you never know. It is what it is.
But I'm just putting it down. That's all I got to say is probably mediocre.
Yeah, like I mentioned in my winners and losers, the 49ers just lost too many people. We still don't know what's going on with Brock Purdy. He's reportedly about to resign he signed a new deal with them, but still. 49ers is just a little disaster right now.
He's not even a starting quarterback.
Ooh, bold take right there. And then the Packers and Steelers Sunday Night Football could be a potentially huge game if Aaron Rodgers is on the Steelers. But again, we'll talk about him later. Like I said, let me know if you have any concerns or comments about these games. So, yeah. Seahawks Commanders, I think should be a very good game. Sunday Night Football.
That's gonna be a good game too.
Steelers and Chargers, again, depending on Aaron Rodgers, should be a very good game. I like that. Lions and Eagles. Ooh, like we said earlier in the video about for the first game of the year.
Yeah.
At least they did it on Sunday Night Football.
I like it.
I like it too a lot. Then we get the BUCS and Rams. See, I didn't even know this one. Ooh.
I looked at it earlier and I like this game.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Especially later on the season. I like when we have Sunday night on pretty much later of the year. I like it.
I love primetime games. I love the 8 o'clock games for sure. Then we got the Bengals and Ravens. Divisional matchup. Obviously very good.
Always a good game.
Yep, always a good game. Then we got the Broncos Commanders. Very good game there too.
That should be a good game as well.
Then you got the Texans and Chiefs. Of course, playoff matchup from last year. Very good game.
We got a lot of good games on here.
I was just about to say literally the same exact thing. Vikings and Cowboys, Bengals, Dolphins, which I noticed the Dolphins are on here a lot too, especially for Monday Night Football. So we'll see. Then the Bears and 49ers. So I was just about to say the same exact thing. I think, well, at least as of right now on Thursday and Sunday Night Football, but they got a lot of good matchups. They got the Giants on there a couple times, which is a little interesting.
That's it, yeah.
But, that's really about it. I mean, the 49ers, like I said, they're still a big market team, so I get it. But, again, I don't think they're going to be that good. But, overall, I do like what the NFL has done with these few games for sure.
Yeah, because a lot of it is actually very interesting games. I'm very surprised.
And speaking of interesting, Monday Night Football is interesting this year. I'll point it out to you in a minute. We already talked about week 1, but here's where I'm going to point it out. So we get the Buccaneers and Texans week 2. I'm pretty sure you've seen that.
I like this game.
I like it a lot too, but look what time it starts. 7 p.m. Eastern. Have you ever seen that for Monday Night Football?
I don't think I ever seen that in my life.
And I've seen the double headers on ESPN before, but have you seen the Chargers and Raiders are the second game at 10 o'clock? That's like baseball. When on the West Coast, the games start at, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock?
Yeah.
What?
I haven't. I mean, again, I've seen the doubleheaders on Monday night, of course.
Who's gonna be up at night?
The West Coast. I'm not watching that game. I'll be asleep, especially the Raiders. But again, you never know; they could be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll see. There's a lot of like doubleheaders on Monday Night Football. Like, last year they had a couple. They really started implementing that a few years ago, and I get it. More primetime games for more teams, of course.
All right.
But I don't know, man. Again, 10 o'clock, East Coast, you're shot in the foot. It is what it is. So if I was a Packer fan, well, I am a Packer fan, but if the Packers were playing at 10 o'clock, I don't know how I feel about that. I'd be asleep by freaking second quarter. Then we get the week 3, Lions and Ravens. Very good game, of course. Yeah. Like I said earlier in the video, they nailed these freaking Thursday nights, Sunday nights, and Monday nights. These are actually some very good games. And then week 4, we also have another doubleheader. We got the Jets and Dolphins. Divisional matchup. You never know. It could be really good. Then we got the Bengals and Broncos. Pretty good offensive game right there.
Right.
First time we've seen Jaguars right here. Chiefs and Jaguars for the week 5 Monday night. Should be a little interesting, especially with Travis Hunter. First time he's going on primetime, which I like it.
I don't know.
Week 6, Bills and Falcons. This is also another doubleheader. We got the Bears and Commanders at 8:15. Like I said, there's a lot of doubleheaders.
There's a lot of doubleheaders.
Look, week 7, the Buccaneers again at 7 o'clock against the Lions.
We have 2 Monday night games.
Which is pretty cool, but look at that. 7 o'clock. That's like a freaking baseball time.
Pretty much.
I mean, you never seen football games start at 7 o'clock. No. And then Texans and Seahawks. 10 o'clock. Another 10 o'clock game.
I guess it makes sense because, because it's a doubleheader and it's heading towards West Coast, I guess.
Yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely get that part.
But other than that, I don't know why.
I've seen the preseason games at 10 o'clock before. I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen... I could be completely wrong. But they got 2 10 o'clock games.
Yeah.
And we're only at week 7. I think there's maybe a couple more. I could be wrong. Then we got week 8, Commanders and Chiefs. Very good game right there.
That's going to be a good game.
Week 9, we got the Cardinals and Cowboys. Be a pretty good game. Because, Kyler Murray is pretty good in that stadium. I've heard a lot of things about that. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Well, as long as he doesn't torn his ACL again. Oh,
if
Dad
he
said that out loud.
But if he ends up tearing his ACL, don't go back on this video. We got the Eagles and Packers. Obviously, a very good game right here. Week 10. Week 10. I'm sorry. Week 11, we got the Cowboys and Raiders, which is pretty interesting right there. We got the Panthers for the first time here. Week 12. Was there another doubleheader? Actually, no. I think that was it for doubleheaders. No,
I think that's it.
Yeah. So we got the Giants and Patriots. But again, the Giants on here for the third time.
They're expecting something from them.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, you never know. Eagles and Chargers is actually a very interesting game right here. The Eagles also have a lot of primetime games, which makes sense for sure.
Well, keep this in mind that they might flex these out.
True. They usually start flexing games after week 10. So we could see the Giants and Patriots. Right. Yeah, absolutely. You're correct. Dolphins and Steelers, pretty interesting game right there. We got the 49ers and Colts. Could be a good game. I mean, I don't know.
They might suck, but who knows?
They might flex that out, honestly. Then you got the last Monday Night Football, the Rams and Falcons, which I like. So, like I said, of course, not every game is going to be perfect with great teams matchups, but I really do like what the NFL has done this year for sure. I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen the international games. I don't think it's up here, but it was the Vikings and the Steelers in week 4. And then it was the Vikings and Browns in week 5. Let's see if I can remember all of them. Oh, God. And then it was... No, wait. It was Vikings, Steelers, Vikings, Browns. Oh, God.
And then something... I think Jags is one of them.
Yeah, Jaguars play the Rams, but it's later in the weeks.
Right.
I know the Commanders play the Dolphins in like week 11. What was the other one? The Colts and the Falcons were one. The Colts are the home team. I'm trying to think of these teams without looking at it. That was what, 6? I can't do it. We're gonna look like dum-dums here. Week 7. I think I was like missing week 7. Yeah, Rams and Jaguars right here, so I got that one right. Week 8. There is none.
Is it before?
Yeah, let's check week 6. Broncos and Jets. Okay, so that was it. So the international games were a little iffy right there for sure, especially with like the Colts and Falcons, which I don't know. But I think it was the Colts and Falcons. Yeah, it was the Colts and Falcons. But again, never know. They do have a lot of international games. We got 7 this year.
That is a lot.
And it's only going to go up and up, guys. So don't think it's going to go away. They might have a freaking international team at this point. I mean, it's actually insane with all these international games.
Or they might just have international games like every week. Instead of just every certain week, it might be every week.
You never know. Maybe 5 years, it could be. Could be all 18 weeks. Or really 17 weeks.
Especially every team's salaries just keeps going up every single year.
Yeah, the NFL is booming for sure.
So you never know. I mean,
oh my goodness, my phone is blowing up. Hold on. We're going to take a quick break, I guess. Oh, I'm about to say, what is playing on here? It's a freaking, the Packers schedule reveal, which I thought was pretty funny.
I was saying, like, what was going on up there?
You know, we're being unprofessional. Well, I'm being unprofessional right now, but that's it for me. All right, so we're going to look at the Packers schedule first real quick. Like I said, we've already went through the primetime games, so I'm not going to really discuss it. I'm going to discuss, how I feel about these game placements where the bye week is, which I hate it so much. Week 5 bye week. I don't know anyone who actually likes an early bye week.
I absolutely hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
Like,
it's too early, and what if you get players that gets hurt and then they don't even have enough time to freaking recover when they do get hurt.
Yep, and that's it. That's the main reason why we all love late bye weeks.
Maybe if they placed on a freaking IR, which normally is freaking 4 weeks.
I know. I was hoping and praying we at least have like a week 8, week 9 bye week. Nope, the worst one, week 5, which it is what it is. But before that, we played the Browns at 1 o'clock Eastern, which it's the Browns. What do we expect? Then we get the Bengals week 6, 4:30, which I love that.
Well, for the Browns fans, I do have a toilet for you.
Yeah, Browns, I don't know how. They might be a joke again. Then we got the Cardinals 4:30, which makes sense because we're playing in Arizona. Of course, Sunday Night Football against the Steelers on the 26th of October. The Panthers, which is a 1 o'clock Sunday game, which expected for sure. The Monday Night Football against the Eagles. The 1 o'clock game against the Giants. 1 o'clock game against the Vikings. I wish this one should have been at least 4:30 because Vikings and Packers always are huge games, at least in my opinion.
Especially maybe like neck to neck, like division. When you try to get a top division, then it's always like neck to neck matchups, and that's what we don't like most of the time.
Yeah, no, I get it for sure. But if you're gonna put the Packers and Vikings, at least put them at 4:30. At least in my opinion, so I can watch it at home because I live in Florida. We live in Florida, so it's really hard to see Packer games at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then we got the Thanksgiving game 1 o'clock, or technically 12 o'clock because they always play at 12 o'clock on Thanksgiving. The Lions, so very good game right there. Then we got the Bears at 1 o'clock in Lambeau.
The Bears.
Very interesting game right here. Week 15 against the Broncos, 4:30. And then we got the Saturday game, Week 16.
The Bears.
Against the Bears. Still suck. The Commanders and Eagles will be the other one on Saturday of Week 16. So probably 4:30. I can see that right there. Which, hey, I'll take it. Then we got a flex game right here, Week 17 against the Ravens, which I love it.
I like that.
I just wish I knew what day it was because I would love to go to this game, but of course it's a lot of money. But I'll take it. It's either going to be 4:30 on Saturday or 8 o'clock on Saturday or maybe a 4:30 on Sunday. So there's no way in hell it's going to be a 1 o'clock game. That's all I got to say.
Right.
And of course, the very last game of the year, just like everybody else, is to be determined on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
I really do like how the NFL does that. For the last game of the season, they have everything to be determined, and then they usually put like 3 games on Saturday. So, the big games, of course, and then all the rest of the games on Sunday night. Then they get the Sunday night football game, of course. But yeah, looking at the Packers schedule, I like it a lot, except for the Week 5 bye week. That is the worst in the world for sure. But other than that, we already knew who we're facing. It's just depending on when and where. It is what it is with like the bye week, like I said. But overall, I do like it. What do you have to say about it?
I like when you guys start off the season against the Lions. That's a really good matchup. Get that division out of the way, and maybe try to get them in a funk like early in the season, so that they don't have a high hopes of winning the division for NFC North.
That's true.
But I like Baltimore Ravens in Week 17. And like you said, Week 5 on a bye week is too early. It's way too early.
It is what it is, man.
But if I have to pick which game that I would like for the Packers, it's either the very first week or the Ravens game.
I like it. I like it a lot.
But I'm not very interested on the Browns game, though.
Me neither. So now we're looking at the Buccaneers schedule. Week 1, like we discussed earlier, against the Falcons, which Nate does not like it too much, but I don't mind it at all. Then we've already talked about the Week 2, 7 o'clock Monday Night Football.
That's a good game.
Which I do like the 7 o'clock. It's weird, but I do like it just because it won't end at like 10:30 or 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So this game will end at like at 9:30
or 10.
9:30 or 10, yeah. Week 3, this is actually your home opener against the New York Jets at 1 o'clock.
Yep.
How you feel? Oh, let me know how you feel about any of these games as I go through.
I like it. I kind of like when we don't start the season off as a home opener, because I don't think we're really good when we're opening up the season at home.
Nah.
Normally, we're pretty terrible at it.
Yeah.
But especially against the New York Jets, depends on how they start off the season. If they start the season pretty much struggle or anything, then we might take advantage of that and try to get a win out of that. Mm-hmm. But other than that, and especially the Eagles game, 1 o'clock. It's always either way on that game, the Eagles and the BUCS. Either 1 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, even 1 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter.
It just seems like you're always playing in Tampa against the Eagles. Literally, all the time.
And then if you remember, every single time when we get into the stadium, it's always nothing but Eagles fans.
That's very true.
And I hate to say this, Eagles fans suck.
Eagles fans are pretty rude. Trust me. I've seen a lot of Packer fans, complaining about the Eagles fans in that playoff game.
Yeah.
Then we at Week 5 against the Seahawks, a normal 4 o'clock time. Not too shabby.
I actually like that game.
Which one? The Seahawks?
Week 5. So, against the Seahawks, I actually like that game, 4:05. Because Seattle could be
good,
pretty good team. So yeah, I mean, especially with Sam Darnold and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which is still weird to me, but it's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
then we got the Week
49ers. I mean, it depends on how they go as well, because they like you said, they lost a lot of people in the offseason, and they hardly done anything for the draft. But other than that, I guess whatever is depending on Brock Purdy situation, which I think he's not worth the money. I think he's probably like maybe what, 10 million per year, not 30.
Wait, 10 million?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said 30 million. No, Brock Purdy wants over 50.
No. I know that. I'm just saying what he's worth. Like I'm saying, like
10 million.
Because
Nick.
he's not that he's not that good.
He's not
man.
that
pretty. He's not pretty good.
No pun intended. Yeah, but you gotta know that he took them to the Super Bowl, and he's taking them to
with a top 5 offensive line.
I get that for sure, but
and
still.
they had a bunch of freaking deep threats, including Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey.
No, I get it.
Kyle Juszczyk.
I get it.
Trent Williams.
I get it, but not $10 million a year.
No shot. I'm sorry. No shot.
We're going to end up clipping that for sure. And then we're going to see him getting paid $59 million like that.
Which I would be so freaking mad if they do.
Wow.
He is not that worth money. That much money. I just don't think.
Well, I don't even know what to say about that. Anyways,
I do, but I'm not saying no more.
We got the Lions here on Monday Night Football, like we talked about earlier in the video. Pretty good matchup right there. Again, another 7 o'clock.
Oh, that's a nail biter.
Then you got the Saints at 4 o'clock, which, hey, divisional games are always good. The BUCS have been handling the Saints pretty good lately, but but the last few years have been a different story. Week 9 bye is a pretty appropriate bye. Definitely take that. Better than Week 5. Then you get the Patriots, which was an interesting game at 1 o'clock in Tampa. Then you guys go play the Bills, which I feel like this should be
nail biter.
This one should be at least a 4:30 slot. Which, hey, they might flex it up. You never know at this point, but I like that game a lot. It should be a 4:30 game.
That's a nail biter.
Sunday against the Rams, like we talked about earlier in the video.
That's gonna be a close game.
Very good game. Then you got the Cardinals at 1 o'clock, which is a typical time.
Right.
Saints Week 14, typical time in New Orleans. I'm so sorry, in Raymond.
Right.
Then you got the Thursday Night Football, like we talked about earlier. Could be a complete shootout because of Buccaneers and Saints. I almost said Saints for some reason again. Buccaneers and Falcons usually play pretty good. Typical time. Oh, this is part of the weird schedule too. They play the Panthers 2 times out of the last 3 games, which is kind of interesting. I know that they have teams where they play like week 15 and week 17, or like week 11, week 13. Like the Bears and Packers do it. The Bears and Packers play each other 2 times in 3 weeks, but damn, you don't face the Panthers until week 16. Is actually kind of insane, at least in my opinion. And then the Dolphins, in which we might have to look about maybe going into this game. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's something to talk about. Going to this game.
Huh.
First time going to Miami.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
1 o'clock Sunday.
That might be something to talk about.
No airplanes. Saving a lot of money. Obviously, a lot of stuff we got to talk about off camera. But anyways, very interesting matchup, week 17. And then, of course, the to be determined on week 18. Other than that, how do you feel about the BUCS schedule? Do you like it a lot? Do you hate it a lot? Anything else you want to talk about?
I mean, for this schedule,
here, take it.
Let's see. So I think most of this might be like, some of it is real easy games. Some of it is.
Well, remember, you can't say that too much.
I know. That's what I was getting at. Is like some of this will be like really close games, and it really depends on how they get their weeks going. I like this game a lot. The Seattle game, I like it a lot. This is a freaking nail biter because freaking ever since freaking couple years ago or a year ago or whatever it was,
That playoffs, yeah.
we always been playing real freaking tight against them, and then we always, I don't know why, but the Saints freaking, that's why I hate the Saints a lot, because of the fact that sometimes even if they suck, we will lose. We almost lost them freaking last time, and they had a backup in. So I mean, it is what it is.
Division
But
games are always tough.
I like this a lot. I like it how it pans out, and we have a bye week on week 9, which I like that a lot because that will give us time, like especially when we get hurt almost every single goddamn game.
Definitely relate for sure.
So that will be a real good advantage for us. But other than that, what's real interesting is Panthers will be facing them week 16 and 18, which I thought that was pretty weird.
That's why I said earlier in
But
the video too.
other than that, I like most of them. The only thing I don't like is a very, very first game. I think we should have done something else.
I get it fully.
But,
But
you
at least
know.
you're getting it over with real quick, like you
Yeah.
said. But that basically wraps up this video. We're already sitting at 46 minutes, which is a little bit longer than I expected. But if you do like it, hit that like button down real quick and comment down below your biggest reaction of the schedule for your favorite team. Let us know, if you like it, if you don't like it. The biggest shocker for Thursday Night Football, like the Giants are on all the time. But hey, we never know. We don't know until you comment down below. Also, if you're brand new, hit that subscribe button because it takes 2 seconds. My last few videos have been doing pretty damn good. And if you've even watched this long or listened this long, we really do appreciate it. But yeah, anything you guys say?
No, you pretty much wrapped it up.
All right, and we're out of here. Deuces.
Deuces.